Hands on helmets. 10 seconds.
Welcome. I'm Chris McKean.
I'm Dean Hansen.
We're all about cross-country racing, and usually it starts with 10 seconds.
But not in Iowa. In Iowa, it starts with hands on helmets.
Well, thanks. Man, you do a good job. What are you doing next week, Dean?
Filling in for Andy, maybe. I don't know.
Yes. So Andy's he's working a little late, got pulled to the job. So thanks for filling in for him.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he might be joining us a little later. He has to get in his podcast with Bug and Andy. He's got maybe a comment or two. But yeah. So Dean, thanks for joining us. We don't have a guest tonight. We just kind of thought we'd talk over, round 2, how it went. We got your perspective as, you kind of pull double duty. Not only do you help out in the track crew, but I thought we could also get some perspective on youth racer.
Yeah.
You had 3 youth racers that you helped support in both kids sessions, and then also you had one pull double duty. So thought we'd jump into that and kind of talk through that as well. Yep. We have an unfortunate, situation with scoring that we need to address before the rumors kind of get too out of hand and people are questioning it. We'll talk through just unfortunate technology issues that sometimes we have, and thankful that we have backup scoring. So that is a reason. We'll talk through it all tonight. But we do have, if we don't cover it, I'm sure Andy's going to cover it. We have some penalty box penalties that were issued as well for this round.
Yep.
Some laps were removed. So it was a lot going on. This busy day at scoring during that adult race. But yeah, let's jump on into it. We had a beautiful day, didn't we?
It was. I mean, even the crew was talking on Friday what good weather we've had to start the season out. I know we got rained out, but Thursday, Friday, building track, the weather's great. You get just a little bit of rain, and then race day's been excellent. We could have used a little more rain in Corridon, but at the same time, it was a great racetrack. So
yeah, I mean, I thought the track, from my 100-foot perspective before and after scoring that, it got a little dusty there in the adult session, but a little bit of rain would have helped us out, but otherwise it was perfect.
Yeah, and luckily that track still has a lot of grass. It's been raced one time. The grass grows fast. So there was a lot of sections where that held down on the dust a lot, which helped. Yeah,
so let's jump on into it. We tied our record this year. So 107 kids total for both the youth and what we call the mini sessions. That's lots of kids, especially when I look up and it was, I have 76, 77 kids in that first session. That makes me nervous, that many kids in an hour. You just got to hope for a long track. So.
Right. Yeah. And of course, it's a little bit on the tight side in the first 2 miles. Mm-hmm. And so that always makes things interesting too, but it's not as tight as it was when we started now. It's starting to open up and get a little racier and making some new lines. So that helps out too.
Yeah. So you arrived Thursday, Friday to help out with the track?
Yeah,
So
Thursday morning.
how is that experience? Like you're brand new, and you're not brand new. You've been around for some years with us
Yeah.
on and off and on. So coming back, you were going to do double duty. I had heard you registered, you filled out a questionnaire. I was
Yeah.
scratching my head a little bit. Dean's coming back. And then all of a sudden I hear you're going to help out with the track crew. So what's your experience been so far with helping out and some of the things you see? You know, maybe not go into some of those stories, but you could kind of give us an insight on behind the scenes a little bit.
Yeah, maybe we'll just cover daylight hours, right?
Yeah,
yeah, it's excellent. I mean, there's a handful of guys that show up Thursday, before lunchtime, and we've got the veterans that know those properties like the back of their hand, thankfully, because I don't yet. There's some of them I do, but and we just kind of start talking about how are we doing it, where are we going, and then we just get on four-wheelers and start scoping stuff out and put out the rough arrows and start getting an idea and figure out where we're going. This time was kind of unique because it's only been raced one time.
Yep.
So we had to figure out how to spin it backwards. And then there were some trouble spots that we worked on. Luckily, the landowner and his hired man were there with the skid loader to help us with some trouble spots and putting logs down some spots. And so that took us some time, but yeah, it's been awesome. It's been a blast, actually, just hanging out, riding four-wheelers and hanging arrows and trying out different lines. It's awesome. We have a blast.
Yeah, it's good that the crew all gets along. It has some razzing here and there, kind of like Andy and myself have a little razzing here and there. It's good spirited, nothing mean, but I think it builds camaraderie and I mean, we're out there doing with what we love, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you serve dual purpose because you're out there kind of get an idea of what the track's going to be like for your crew, which you mentioned. Yeah. So you have, I'll let you say their last name. You have Abby.
Yeah. So my fiance has three kids, two of which are getting into the racing. So it's Abby Valderabano and then Ivan Valderabano, or if you see his number plate, he goes by Juju. And so we actually started Abby last year in Weldon.
Yep.
On a 90. I said, if you want to race next year, let's start. And so what to expect. Which was good. And then we actually had another old racer start his son in Murray. So then they were kind of ready for this season. So she was kind of ready and still nervous, but who isn't on the line? I still get it. And then Ivan turned 4 in January. So I said, well, let's just see how it goes. And it's a unique opportunity to be on the track crew and be able to, let the guys know, hey, I'm gonna follow him because he's probably not going to go the right way. But he's been doing awesome. We're using a lot of brakes right now. That was the lesson, right? If I can get him to slow down and control the hills, then I'll let him figure the throttle out later. But so they're both doing really good. I think this next round we're going to turn him loose. I'm just going to work crew like normal with the mini race and let him run that 50 limited class and see how it goes.
Gotcha. So, and you also had your nephew try out the race this time.
Yep, Karsten Geisler. He's been practicing with Abby and Sam some here and there, and so he wanted to race, and I said, "Well, I have a 90, so as long as you can clear it with your parents and you got the gear, I'll put you on a machine." So they decided. I think they're going to do well. They plan on doing 3 this year. And now Karsten, though he's done one, is wanting to do more. but we'll see how that goes. And he might end up doing more. I don't know if he's just going to ride with us, but he loved it. And so it's good to see those kids get to practice together. And I know there's a lot of groups of kids that get to practice together and then race together. And so we kind of have that little group. But they're starting to get competitive. So we'll see what happens there. It's when they get together and start going fast through the trees, then they'll go together and start to take on everybody else.
Gotcha. Just a reminder, though, Karsten, if he's only going to do 3, it takes 4 to be eligible for a year in points. So I'm trying to plead his case for him.
Yeah, I'm trying to help him out. I'm trying to say, well, we can haul him to some. It's no problem. He's just hang out with me.
Yeah.
So, and I think as he gets more comfortable, he'd probably be up for that. But we'll just have to see how it goes.
Gotcha.
It's too bad we don't have a team race because we got our own team now. But
hey, team racing, do that support in the pits, right? Got to get the team shirts, which I'm amazed this year on how many crew shirts and things being shown out there. I've got 2, so if you got a crew shirt, hit me up. I'll purchase one.
Yeah, we had them made for ourselves. I think we might have to extend that out if people want them. I don't know. It's hard to say, but it sure is nice to be able to spot, your crew stand alongside the track and for other people to know where people belong.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of nice, especially with the kids, right? Just let them run free and they kind of got a decoder on them. So they go back to that tri-colored 76 camper over there. That's a Hanson crew.
Hanson crew. So let's recap. So for the first youth session, as we call it, Jenna Berg picks up a second win on the Super Mini. Kay Tomlinson. Oh, this kid is on fire. Have you seen him out there?
Yeah.
I want to say that he skipped a couple levels. Like we always preach, you start down here and you can see him gradually get faster. Kate's been one of them that kept my eye on him, but he is looking good this year. I mean,
he found a lot of speed this year. At that race at Trenton, I pulled over because I heard that 2-stroke coming. And he blew my doors off, and I was like, "Who is that?" And so really impressive.
So Cade took the top spot there on his DRR. 70 production, Rhett Hale. I think that's his first win. I'm probably wrong with numbers. Horrible time, but he just jumped into the 70 production this year. So that was nice for him to take that top spot. And if I have to correct myself or look at it, Cash Crees, our old, we'll call him the veteran 90 class, the 12 to 14-year-olds, took the top spot. And not only did he win in the 90 stock, he also did double duty, which I was amazed by how many kids did double duty. And we can talk about that once we get into the adult results.
Yeah.
Kids are stepping up. So if I hear an adult this year complain about how hard it is, I'm going to refer him to Abby, or Cash, Oliver Yerington, Taylor Davis, all of those youngsters that not are they pulling an hour, they get a few hours rest and going out there and pulling 2 hours.
Yeah. So, get a little lunch break and some hydration, and they're back out there again.
Yeah. 90 stock, 10 to 11. Oh, I've seen I'll be honest, I've seen the videos coming right through or right up to scoring. Lane Gray did it. He pulled off the 50-foot pass right before scoring and took the win. Tough because I've seen that video. I probably watched it 50 times, honestly, and just trying to analyze it, looking at it. It's heartbreaking, but Ryder Dalton will pick it up again, and I think that's 2 second-place finishes in a row. So he's there. He's on the verge. Just got to keep moving forward there.
Strong start to the season for sure.
Yeah. And then another repeat winner in the 90 stock the youngsters for 90 stock, Jackson Ferrix wins the second in a row.
Yeah, 2 in a row to start the season.
He's setting that bar high. And it wasn't that bad because that class was really competitive. I mean, Ace Summerfeld was right behind him. Leo Christensen was right there.
Yeah.
Very competitive kids. 76 or so kids out there at once. That's impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's to be out there while those guys are racing is something to see. You get to see those passes in the trees, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the lines they pick out are just crazy. That these kids know what they're doing.
Yep, they got that experience. I mean, we could talk a young 90, 8 to 9 year olds, but they could already have 4 to 5 years experience under the belt if they started at 4. So
Exactly.
It's like, it's young 90. People think it's just, they're only 8, 9 year olds, but God, they could be junior experts already. So
exactly, and that was something that we talked about on our team, right? Because, like Abby, she's started when she was 13, and I said these other kids have 8, 9 years experience, and when you think about that, that's crazy. The amount of race hours that they've got is insane. So it's no wonder they can do what they can do.
Yeah. So after the 90 or youth class session, we get a little break, hurry up, calculate results before we jump right into the mini session. So 27 kids in the minis. Wyatt Goldsberry takes the top spot on the box again.
Yeah.
The 50 production class, he had Piper Davis join him in that class this race. 90 stock, Gavin Gazink pulls off the top spot, followed by Braisley Mathis and Danny Bowling. And then 50 limited, Riley Dalton takes top spot, followed by Colison Kalish and Eli Dalton. So that Dalton family, I think it's multiplying quickly.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just a matter of time before the dads get back in, huh?
We tease them all the time, asking when they're going to jump back on a quad.
Yeah. Yeah, and that 50 limited class has exploded. That's a big class, and it's kind of like the 90 stock, right? They all run the same, and it's pretty cool to watch. And it's
now, do you see in that class out there in the timber, it's kind of like follow the leader?
I'll tell you what, it's not as much as you'd think. They're aggressive. They're out there making passes and looking for lines. It's not, you would think there'd be a lot of follow the leader, but they're not patient. They want to go around and they want to make a pass.
Nice. Oh, all right. So you had a couple kids. You got to follow Ivan around. Funny story. Saw you coming up to scoring, and we're like, throw the checker. So
yeah, I was doing the math in my head when you guys were saying how much time's left, and it was like 2 minutes, and I knew where I was, and I'm like, boy, he needs to slow down a little bit because we don't have time to make another one.
So,
and then we were kind of rounding the corner around the gate to come up pit road, and you guys said 20 seconds, and I'm like, I got to say something. I got to make sure we shut this down. So, and you were already on top.
We stopped that race probably 10 seconds early.
Yeah.
Just for Ivan's sake. So,
and I don't think there was anyone after him for a little while anyway. So, but
no, it didn't affect anybody at all.
Yeah.
It's just that we stopped it a little early, threw the checker a little early, and it only affected Ivan so that he didn't have to go off and do another lap there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're in the one lap club right now. We'll see how fast that changes. That could change in a hurry with what he's showing, but
yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
All right, so I then jump into the Dusty Adults. Oh, that first lap, how much dust was being kicked up, we were in for it at scoring. Which we were. It was nice to get some of the track watered. If I heard right over the radio, we had the fire department came over and watered some of the track for us.
Yeah, they wanted to get some water down. I'm not sure. I think they got it coming across the roads and maybe coming up into the barn. I'm not sure where they got it all watered, but I know they got some down, which helped a lot because, you kind of you don't want that barn to fill with dust because there were some things to go around in there and everything went good there. So I think that helped a lot.
Yeah. Oh, so what gives me the gray hair? The adult scoring gave me some gray hairs this race. So, man, I think it started, our issue started within the first 6 scans. So we can kind of talk through it and then we can go over the results because I want people to know what happened. Didn't hurt anybody in the end. It was just a glitch in the middle. But some of the things we had is that we did have a double beeper all race long in our pro class. So when we say like a double beeper, that means he had 2 transponders on him or his machine. So we had one on the helmet and we had one on the machine. So it was throwing numbers off. And I was chasing that issue for the first hour and a half, trying to figure out what it was because the person behind him didn't scan. So that was a terrible situation. It affected Greg Meyer. So I apologize, Greg. We were chasing on and trying to fix your stuff pretty much all race long. I can't emphasize enough the importance with backup scoring. So it saved us twice in this race. And when it takes us a little bit longer after everything's done is that we go through, we have a backup sheet. I'll show it here. This is one of my problem sheets. It's got 100 entries on it. And we go after each page is filled out. You'll see me do a compare. I'll compare the backup sheet to our scanned reports. Before anything's finalized, we make sure that everything matches. So there was some issues. So we're going to say page 5. So that affected mostly the A class. I've got a list here of, I think, 13, 14 guys that had affected either 4th lap or 5th lap. What had happened about an hour and a half into the race for adults, I got an error message or a pop-up message on our scoring laptop that basically it stopped scoring. So something happened, stopped scoring, so it gave me an issue box. I saw it right away, addressed the issue, but we had 13 or so racers that didn't get scored their lap. I knew right away, based off my experience, who it was, what the situation was. So that's why this sheet looks half empty here because we realized right away, and then Tracy picked it back up with the second sheet. So if you can look closely, I don't have it all, but there's check marks here. It's all my manual verification that everybody that affected got their lap counted, so to speak. They're not in exact order because we knew after Jace Tomlinson came through, that's when the error occurred. So the next 14 scans did not scan or they weren't accounted for. So when we realized that right away, it's like a manual. You'll see me input like my little 10 key going through and entering everybody's lap. When that happens, we can't go through and accurately pinpoint what a racer's lap time should be. So that happened it happened lap 4. Because if somebody's looking at the results and comparing lap times, it's not just A class that affected. There was plus 30 class. It just depends how the racers all get come through scoring different times, right? So scoring looks a little bit off. They look like a good chunk of the A class riders all have a quick lap time on lap 5, and that is because I after the situation had happened and trying to correct lap 4. Lap 4 looks like a longer lap time, because it would be, because 10 keying in after they came in. Well, then that resulted in lap 5 looking impressive, and that they had a shorter lap, right? And we're talking under 30 seconds. So it's not like minutes, it's seconds. And by doing that, then it throws off the other report that we usually run, a short lap time report. And that's why I kind of took Andy. We were kind of looking through all the results and want to make sure everything was right before we publish results and move forward with awards. So it happens. I can't say it hasn't. This is the first time in probably 3 or 4 years that it's happened like that. But we realized what was going on, and we corrected it as fast as we can. It just looks like lap times are off for those classes. Now, with that being said, we did throw away, and Andy might talk about it later if he joins us. First year racers, we had 2. One had a 20-minute lap time on first lap, and then also the second person had a 22-minute lap time on second lap. Based on the experience, knowing that our pros and A class weren't doing that fast of lap times, and Andy consulting with those racers, something happened, and they were penalized a lap. So normally what we do, we can't justify that you took a left turn instead of a right turn when we should have. We knew during the race that there was a situation. We just didn't know who it was.
Right.
That didn't cut, or I guess we have to say cut a good portion of the track, and it showed. I didn't do it on purpose, just took the wrong turn, and we can't add time to the lap, so therefore we just have to remove that lap from. So
yeah, and like you said, we knew what was going on during the race. We knew there were some short laps. We'd heard it on the radio.
Yeah.
So then as you go through, you're looking for where that could have happened, and trying to understand what's going wrong. But with the dust, it certainly can happen. And the other thing is those corners got really slick, kind of oddly slick,
like a soft salt, like
yeah,
slick. Yeah.
So some of those, we saw a lot of people pushing off into the cedars and getting stuck under the trees.
Mm-hmm.
I had to free one 4-wheeler that was stuck under a tree, and he said, I can't get it out of there. I said, what do you mean you can't get it out of there? It was like a barb on a fish hook. It was stuck in the cedar. So we got it out. But yeah, those corners got slippery for sure.
Good. So let's go ahead and recap. So AA, Cooper Krug was fast this race. I believe he got the whole shot and led the whole race. Then kind of the battle after him kind of picked up. Cole Brand, Jordan Bird, Tucker Wyatt were all switching spots.
Yeah.
But Jordan ended up taking home the second place, followed by Cole Brand. A class, Braden Schrock took the top box, took the top spot on the box, followed by Gary Eads and Cade Dial. Open utility class, Jackson Carroll, second win.
Yeah.
He's finding a groove this year.
Yeah, using that pro class experience back home, it looks like.
Yeah. Brent Jagurtis came back. He's back. Came to the race and then took second spot, followed by Kevin Weedy in open utility class. Plus 30 class, Cody Wescott. Kyle Kropp, and then Zach Johnson. So, close lap times. I believe that 30 plus 30 class, 1 second difference between Cody and Kyle.
Yeah.
Imagine two hours for it to come down to 1 second.
Yeah. That's a tough class this year for sure.
Yes. And speaking of plus 30, I think B class is a tough class as well. 25 in the class this race.
Yeah, big race. Did you happen to see? There's some really quality helmet cam footage out there of our fearless leader running for his life.
No.
Yeah, if you get a chance, check out Nick Bogren's helmet cam video that he posted. You'll see Andy running for dear life.
I don't believe this. Andy running?
Yeah, running and then deciding it was better to just stand there and let him drive around him.
Okay. I'll have to check that out. But
I missed it on the start, but I was watching Nick's helmet cam and I didn't laugh because that would be unkind, but I found some amusement.
I'm laughing for you.
But then I also saw today when I was looking at Sabrina's pictures, I saw somebody push starting their old four-wheeler and then falling down. So Paul, of course, was not on his own four-wheeler. He was on Brock's old machine and must have killed it on the start. Again, I missed all this. And Brock was push starting him and must have fired, and Brock took a tumble. She's got all of it in the pictures. You'll have to check that out too. It's good stuff.
All right. So I need to go check atomic photography photos that are out there, and then also look at Nick Bogren's stuff. We can go ahead and do, I guess, if you want to do a quick break and do a shameless plug, visit Bogren Motorsports for your number panel needs.
Yeah,
which I do like them. I supply some basic stuff, but man, Nick's stuff is flexible.
Yeah, and I haven't gotten the plates, but what I'd been looking for was a mount solution for the back of the 90s because there's nothing out there. And then I found he had something, and they were excellent. So
okay.
If anybody's looking for something for the back of a kid's quad to mount a number plate, he makes these little clamps and tabs, and they work excellent, and they're flexible.
So is it clamps off of the rear grab bar?
It just clamps, actually, like I've got mine up on the frame, so it's tucked underneath still, so it doesn't get in the way of the grab bar. But it's that flexible rubber, plastic, whatever it is, and then he makes this little clamp that's got a hole in it, and they work awesome.
All right. So you broke up there. I don't know if that was me or you, but yeah.
Could be either.
So, all right. Well, go check out Nick Bogren or Atomic Photography for all your picture needs.
Yep. Some good quality entertainment on there this time.
All right. So B class, Derek Nimke takes the top spot. Congratulations, Derek. Followed by Hunter McAtee. Sorry, Hunter. And Colby Baker takes third spot. I mean, then look at fourth, Nicholas Lucas. I mean, that class has got some competitors in it.
Yeah, and they're switching positions all race. That class is tough. They're definitely fighting for it.
I think you're froze again. I hope that's not my internet.
I don't know. Maybe it is mine.
So plus 40 class, Brian Baker, followed by Mikkel Farmer and David Moline. Wow. That was schoolboying. Kason Enquist, Braisley Fry, Sonny Verts. Plus 50, Dan Whipper, Jason Noble, followed by Rob Davidic. So that plus 50 class is kind of grown too. I mean, it's not like hugely grown, but 7 guys in that class now.
Yeah, and heavy hitters. They're out there fighting for the win for sure.
Yeah. Young C class, Remington Barth, followed by Kelly Sauter and Austin Hindy. Junior class. So we talked earlier. All the double duty kids. Let's just go. I'm going to read the whole. Go down. 17 kids in the junior class.
Yeah.
So we have Oliver Yarrington, double duty, top spot. Riker Birch, Nicholas McMillian, Cannon Crease, Talon Davis, Trayton Akers, Cash Crease, Gavin Moline, Ethan Bear, Trayden Shaw, Kip Sheets, Bryce Stockfleet, Braden Shrory, Charlie Jones, Hayden Brokat, Abby V,
Valderabano.
and Ethan.
It's like it's spelled, Chris. Remember, like I told you at registration. Valderabano.
Yeah, that's it. 5 times fast. I mean, stop. I mean, so many kids in the class.
Yeah, and experience levels from, borderline pro to first junior race. It's crazy to see them all out there.
Sorry. I just got those pictures on my phone. That's pretty good. Of Brock falling down. So, I mean, that's fun.
Those are going to float around for a while, I think.
I mean, Sabrina does lots of things. We highlighted her on a couple podcasts ago. She makes these wonderful highlight books. I've asked her one for all the pit crew, or not pit crew, but all the crew. I'm hoping that makes it. Brock falling in those 5-6 photos pretty funny.
Yeah, I was laughing pretty hard.
What fun we all have. Oh, all right. Old C class. Lane Politz, followed by Mike Goldsberry and Connor Kelderman, top 3 in the Old C class. Looking through that list, some of them jumped from the first year at Trenton, decided that first year wasn't enough, so they want to jump into the C class. So congratulations to those.
Nice.
Utility class, Colby Romans, followed by Travis Troy, Devin Bowling. Women's class, Bailey Hawes, Elena Kolsch makes a return, takes second spot. Lainey Birch, top 3. It is good to see the Kolsch family kind of return.
Yeah.
I got to speak with Jake a little bit, small talk before we got things started. I think he made the comment. I welcomed him back. He's like, it's racing, man. It's in your blood. You kind of always will come back to it every now and then. And I was like, yeah, it's in all of our blood that just can't hang up the boots, so to speak.
No, it's you always come back to it some way.
Yep. Then speaking of coming back, hopefully these guys all have a good year in the first year and then come back and try a different class next year. Dylan Romanico takes top spot, followed by Trenton Ishmael and Braden Way, top 3. So lots of new faces. 156 adults, I think is what it was, if my count was right.
Thought it was,
right?
Maybe. I thought it was 160 something, but
it might have been. I think it was up there. I think it was one. Yes, you're right. When I got it, and then after all the corrections all day long, it adds up to 160 or so.
Yeah.
But that's good turnout. I mean, we're growing. It shows that the sport's still alive, and we're still moving.
Yeah, it's so good to see. So good to see people coming back that haven't maybe raced in a few years. And seeing some old faces, and they're bringing new people with them, and so there's a lot of racers coming back. It seems like.
Yeah. Revolving door, so to speak.
Yeah.
So lots of changes. We kind of went through everything that was on my list. I know Andy gave you a whole list to go through.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know. What do you have? I talk really fast, get to the point. What was your perspective, of what happened this round?
I guess I had never been at this property, so it was kind of a learning experience for me, figuring out where the track was, how to get to certain spots, and then getting the lowdown on where the problem areas were from the year before. So I guess for me it was we worked on a lot of those problem areas and tried to put in new crossings. I'm sure everybody saw the new tubes over some of the creeks, and um, that helped a lot. Those held together well, and then it was probably 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon. Quick change to one of the crossings, kind of messed up edges a little bit, and that escalated quickly to almost stuck skid loader in the crossing. So then we had to kind of pivot. So I think there was people walking track. There was one person on a bicycle trying to get across the crossing where we were working, but we had the crew out there throwing logs in and trying to make that passable again because it was a mess. And I think it held together great. I didn't get to go across it after the race. I didn't go down there, but I think it held together this time. We used some big logs. So
okay, that was what you were going down and fixing that Friday afternoon, weren't you?
Yeah, that was late Friday because some of us missed the kind of like we do kind of an orientation lap for some of the crew that shows up, Friday afternoon. That's going to help work the race. Show the trouble spots, show the passing lanes and things like that. Some of us didn't get on that because we were trying to get the logging done, but yeah, so hopefully the next race there, everything's kind of ironed out. The crossings hold together and we'll focus on some other things.
So we have a kind of a fun thing, and maybe those that are watching can comment. Which side was the better side? Was it the east side that I hear was Paul's side that was kind of wide open, or the west side that the Andy went and trimmed so it's short to the ground and tight? Which side was your preferred side to be on?
So I didn't get to go to Andy's side until it was maybe it was Friday morning. I finally got to go over there. They sent us over there to Arrow, and I like it. I like that tighter line over there because we've seen it with new tracks in the past. As a racer, if you start them out tight like that, as you race them, they kind of develop these pass lines, and you end up with this really fast yet still kind of tight race line. And so you can already see it happening, throughout the race. In the youth race, I was cutting out a stump that was giving everybody some problems, and in the process of that, we kind of had to open up another line to get them through. And then as you go down through some of the tighter sections, the same things kind of happen, and they're making pass lines, they're running over trees. And so then you end up with it's still really tight, but you've got options. And so that's going to be a really fun section over there as we start to race it more. But I like Andy's side.
Oh, how much did he pay you, Dean?
A lot.
I know before we had a conference call here with Andy, and he told you not to make any comments, no compliments regarding scoring. But what did he tell you?
Yeah,
maybe something.
Unfortunately, I can be bought, Chris. It's a character flaw. But I gave you props after the race, remember? I said, thanks for keeping Andy up here at scoring so he was out of our hair, remember?
Oh, I know. Yeah, he has to, he's up at scoring, and I don't, he's needed out there with you guys, but oftentimes there's a situation. We had a situation, with scoring. When something's not right, we try to fix it before the end of the race. We don't want to hold up everybody, so we knew right away we had a situation on our hands, and wanted him to look through the lap time. So
yeah, that's good. That's good to get ahead of it and try to figure it out.
So you mentioned that getting used to the track. Who comes up with some of the names of locations? Or have you caught on to that so far? Keep it PG, PG related.
It's as simple as, it can be as simple as working track. Somebody got stuck in this mud hole, and so now it's named after them. Or it can be a name that pops into somebody's head after the sun goes down. It's hard to say. It just sort of happens.
But it's like, right away. It's like, instead of like describing, hey, there's a situation at mile marker 5.5, hey, go to such and such spot. And you're like, oh, I know that spot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. There's one of the mud holes is named at Corridon. But now, after working the race, that person who has a mud hole named after him got stuck mid-race in another one. So I said, you have 2 mud holes named after you here.
Who got stuck? Throw them under the bus.
They don't. It's not part of our organization.
Oh, okay. All right. It wasn't the helper, right?
Yep. That's
his name?
Landowner's hired man.
Yeah. What's his name?
Dooley. They call him Dooley.
Dooley. Oh my.
We call him a lot of things, but
I saw Dooley. I'm going to throw him under the bus. He can beat me up next year. But I saw him. I was in scoring, getting ready for the adults. So, I got to do my things inside, get everything up and loaded and everything. And I saw him come up out of the dry pond a little too fast and on his utility machine. And he biffed it about right over the handlebars. I killed the quad. I don't know what he did to it, but oh man.
He's got a Honda 450. He talked about lining up, and I said, I think you need to. I think you need to do it. So we'll see if we can get him to race one of these other races. I think those guys came and helped maybe at a couple of the rounds last year. So maybe we can get him shamed into racing one. Oh,
put a challenge out there. Tell him to get some race numbers on that utility machine and go out and race the utility class.
Yeah. He'd probably go faster if somebody, if you could put somebody in a cow costume on a 4-wheeler in front of him, it'd be like chasing cattle. We joke with those guys a lot, but Thor and Dooley, they helped us out a ton, skid loader work and changing up things that they had going with gates and where cattle were and coming through the barn and things like that. So huge props to those guys. And at one point on Friday, we were looking for them because we needed skid loader work again, and they were chasing cows. They had cows out. So, they still had work to do on top of what they were doing for us. So big props to those guys.
We can't thank them enough. They all over whatever is needed to get the race off to be successful. Parking was a little tight. So Friday night they opened up another gate so we can get some additional parking where we started the races last year. So that was nice that we had to do that.
Yeah.
Man, I know that they helped out somebody else with the shovel and ended up giving the racer the shovel. So so it was all over. Can't thank them enough to making that race a success.
Yeah.
I believe it was also they had I don't know, family ties or friends that did the bake sale there at the next to the awards. So
I guess I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, it was a hit Saturday morning. So yeah, I think they sold out by lunchtime.
Awesome. I noticed Andy didn't buy us any cookies or anything, but that's okay.
Sorry. No. So I know that one thing on my list, and we'll keep bringing it up, especially in the next podcast, as we kind of put round 2 behind us and we focus more on round 3 and beyond. That round 3, and we'll make sure it gets posted or updated on the website. It is in the current rules that round 3 and round 4 are 10 bonus points. So they've been in the rules. We just want to give everybody that reminder. So just by showing up, you get 10 bonus points.
Yeah,
Andy, registering to race.
Yeah, Andy and I talked about that too. Maybe we'll see that kid's record broken with that being a bonus points race. The numbers, kid numbers. So be interesting to see what the numbers are for that one with it being extra points.
Yeah, and now that we have a little bit of a break here and we're not back-to-back racing, that we'll get the points posted as well. Normally, I don't do it until after round 3 or so. But since we have round 5, it is a big race and it's based off of the starting positions are based off of points. I'll get those hopefully in the next week or so. I've got all the kids calculated. It's just moving on to all the adults. So we'll get those calculated. It's all done manually. So
yeah, I don't know how you keep it all straight. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you props. I was told not to, but
I know. All done. So, and I haven't heard. I'm going to guess based off of as we keep moving around here and skipping around. That's what I'm known for. The placement of the TV and the countdown clock was moved, so it was a little farther pushed out, and they're together on the same side. I didn't hear any rumbling, so I'll take that as good news that it was better positioned. It's tough. I did hear a comment. Well, it's a little laggy. Well, you got to think that it has to go from the RFID reader through a Cat5 cable to the scoring system, gets calculated, and then goes through the HDMI cable over to not one but 2 TVs. So it's a little laggy, and if you're right behind somebody, of course it's going to be quick. It's going to show as quick as what that person comes up behind you as. So I've got a little bit of adjustment on that RFID reader that's at the top of the tent. I was kind of adjusting it down more so it didn't pick you up so far back. But even the wind, it's just on so many different variables, it just picks you up differently.
Sure. Yeah, and I know there was a few comments that was hard to see at Trenton, and so I hadn't paid much attention as I was coming through. But at Corridon, I was trying to make it a point to look at it when I was coming through, and I know I could see that one TV really well. Of course, I'm I think I'm kind of a different height level on that machine than a lot of people are, but it looked good from my perspective. So,
yep. So we'll always take positive feedback or constructive feedback as we move forward and make it the best that we can make it. So, all right. Well, Dean, that's all that I truly have on my list. Again, I truly apologize, for the scoring system. It was a glitch. Glad that we caught it. Nobody's laps were affected. It just, again, shows that some had a faster lap, but they were all verified before we posted results. So I'm confident we can move forward, and knock on wood, we won't have that situation again.
Do we know what kind of transponder caused a problem, or will all transponders cause a problem?
So we currently use event scoring system. So we've looked at different systems, and I've done the research and tried a homegrown system as well. But we use event scoring. So there's other series that use that type of scoring system. And as long as it's event scoring transponder, we can reuse it. We just need the E55 which all of them start with an E55. So that's how we know that transponder is a event scoring transponder. And then it's just the 8 or 9 digits afterwards are specific to each race series. But a moto tally transponder won't affect us at all. And even the GNCC transponders on machines don't affect us at all. So it's the only thing that will give us a double beep is 2 event scoring transponders, and that's what we had.
Okay.
Had one and then it was from a different series, so it wasn't caught. So but we tried to. That's why it's important. Bring up your helmets. I can strongly suggest bringing up or strongly recommend you should be turned around or turned away if you do not bring your helmet up anymore.
Yeah, and I just asked because I know we had that discussion on that machine Paul was going to ride because there was a GNCC transponder on it, and I think we ended up taking it off just to be sure. Wow, he left.
I took him off. Hi, Andy.
Good morning.
Nice that you could join us. We're just wrapping it up. We're keeping it under an hour, but now that you're here, we'll probably go 2 hours.
No, ignore me. I'm just here to make sure you get done by an hour. So I was just going to cut you off. But
how was your nap, by the way?
What's that?
How was your nap?
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't long enough.
His nap.
You guys just keep going. I'm enjoying watching.
I mean, it's a good one. I have blown through everything. We've talked about, our scoring mishap this race and yeah.
No, I just lost my throat.
We didn't know if you were going to join, so we talked about, our penalty box, docking 2 laps from 2 different first-year racers.
I think one only got 1. One got 2.
Correct. Yes, that is correct. Thank you.
Dean, I've only been on here 5 seconds, and I just corrected scoring.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
2 people got,
It takes a village, Andy.
It does. Especially this one was a challenge. But we got her done.
Yeah. So, obviously, leading up to a race, and I think Dean can contest to this, the team and the field are the ones that's almost stressed as far as trying to make sure everything's ready. During the race itself, I mean, for us, it is what it is. I mean, if someone makes a mistake, they're going to make a mistake. But, all the little stuff affects the scoring. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Obviously, that creates a whole stressful environment where most people, I honestly believe it's like, okay, so that's not a big deal. Well, they don't realize the work that you got to put in behind the scenes to make it not a big deal, to overcome. So I think leading up to the race, it's the work's on the crew, and then during the race day, I mean, yeah, it gets tiring pushing and pulling people out of a mud hole or something, but outside of that, the scoring is obviously the most critical thing during the day, so you kind of get the brunt of all the little stuff,
Yeah.
That's why I've noticed you never want to stay on Saturday night. You always get you loaded, which, yourself and Brock and, any of the girls that help. I can't tell you guys how much, obviously I can't say thank you without leaving the Lutz in there, but all the help they do on getting stuff picked up and everything and getting loaded. And, but I always notice, we always try to get you to stay and you always jet out of there. And I just feel like it's something where you just got to go get home and kind of put the top down on the Prius and let the air blow through your hair. Just get out there and cruise, and relax and let it all out, So, and I get that everybody's different and I appreciate what you do.
Yeah. It's just my time to decompress. I got to just, let it go. Especially after the state fair. Oh my, that's a whole nother level.
Yeah. I give you credit there. And I told Dean that's something we don't do on here. So don't make that mistake. But that's one place that state fair is. There's one job I don't want there. And Well, how many times have I told you our job is the easiest job there is at State Fair? The building, it's usually not bad. This year, it's really going to stink being there overnight to get it done. But the State Fair is the easiest race. As far as I'm concerned, the easiest race we've ever put on, except for the scoring, and the scoring is the most difficult deal, so yeah, it's crazy.
Yep. Oh, so we were thinking you're going to jump on here. Do you have anything of what's bugging Andy?
I usually can always come up with something. Yeah, I do have something for what's bugging Andy.
What's bugging Andy this race?
What's bugging Andy? Let me tell you what's bugging Andy. It seems like every time I'm the bad guy, I got to say something or it doesn't get said. Okay. So I'm going to say it this time. There's reason. We were so close to raising entry fees, this year, that too. Insurance, obviously, if you have a vehicle, I could ask Dean, I could ask Chris, I could ask anybody that has a house or a car and your insurance has done what? How many of them went down?
Yeah, none.
Yeah.
They go up. Okay. So if it's funny, my wife just texted me about this to make sure I bring this up. It's funny. So if you had your insurance depended on everybody that comes into your house had to sign a waiver, what would you do?
Make sure that they wipe their feet off first, but then sign the waiver.
Yeah. So I have people that I'm very fortunate to have on our staff, that helps us. Sometimes it's me, sometimes my wife, sometimes it's other people that watch the gate for us till 11 o'clock at night. I think we always promote that, don't we? That 11 o'clock at night.
Yep.
And how many times have you guys heard me say something about if you're not going to be there, do what? If you're going to be late, do what?
Call.
Often, yeah. Give you a call.
Chris, can you tell me how many people in 23 years that I have not gotten up out of bed, if myself or anybody else, and let somebody in if we needed to?
I think you've always gotten up. You've always made best effort to let those in, or you've also, I think a couple times you'll just park at the gate and sit there, or take, rest there until gate opens at 6 o'clock in the morning.
So I'll just put it this way. If I ever catch somebody trying to break in or sneak past the gate, they'll never be the back again, period.
Oh.
So those people that are listening can understand what happened Saturday night. And there will be nobody. There's gates are locked for a reason. If you think you have to try to break a lock or slide in a different way when the gates are closed and you can't call me, that's what's bugging Andy. Case closed. I just want to make that very, very clear so we don't have any kind of confirmation like, well, if I couldn't get a hold of you, I couldn't do this. If you feel like you have to break into the place to get in after the people have already locked it and can't call, you don't need to be there. I don't care if that's 10 racers or if that's 50 racers. It's not the money that we're worried about. It's the signatures. If anybody thinks that's crazy, they can pay the insurance bill. That's what it comes down to. So I don't care how anybody else does it. That's what we're doing. And I just literally, so you kind of struck a nerve when we started talking about what's bugging Andy. It's still bugging me from that night when I have our people tell me that they caught people trying to break into the facility. It really upsets me. So it's just too much work. Dean, you're on the backside now of it. You can contest without me even asking you to. We have a lot of fun doing it, but it's a lot of work. And I ask way too many people. And I've said this so many times. I can't thank everybody enough for giving us credit, but I get way too much credit. We couldn't do any of this without the team behind us. And anytime that we have the team behind us putting in that much work and think that we could lose it for something so little as something like that. That's always going to be on the top of my what's bugging Andy. So
Gotcha.
you guys are probably sorry I got on now. I went from a happy thing to a bad thing. So
all the things need to be talked about, right?
Yeah.
that's right. Try to be transparent, but some of the stuff is just common sense, plain and simple. So, but I don't know what you guys said, but I want to finish on a good note here, and I'll shut up and let you guys finish. But man, I want to thank every single person that was there helping in any capacity Saturday, whether it was the gate or whether it was building the track beforehand or, working the track or marking the track or tearing the track down, or the landowners helping us as much as they did with Thorn. I said Thorn, not Thor, Thorn. And Dooley. And then, it's pretty simple when we say the Lutz family, on tearing stuff down and everybody helping getting the trailers loaded up and stuff. I mean, it's a lot that goes behind the scenes, and I'm not talking me. I'm talking about what we ask everybody else to be there and be able to make this thing work. And Chris, you've seen it. You know how good a team it is because I'm opening the door for you to make fun of me, but unfortunately I had to miss 2 races, right?
Yep. Last year.
We had no flaw. Nothing. It was outside of an ambulance, which was nobody's fault. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's smooth. So we've seen, different people be gone for different reasons, and just one person picks up after another. You know what I mean? They make up for it. And that is, I don't know what else you could ask for out of a team. So I thank every single person that helps in any capacity, behind the scenes or in front of the scenes or after, whatever it might be. And then as important is, man, oh man, I don't think we hardly had one issue this weekend. And the issues that we had, Chris, with both of the first-year riders, I talked to one Saturday, completely understood, not an argument, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
The other gentleman was yesterday morning, I think it was, or this morning, I can't remember now, but it's like, it's so nice to see things work and people understand that. You're not saying they cheated. You're saying that something happened. You know what I mean? And you learn from it and you go on,
Mm-hmm.
But then the racers, there's guys that got lost. I didn't hear one of them complain, It was just dang near a picture perfect race weekend. And seeing that picture that somebody was nice enough to post out there with the overhead shot that I sent to you, Chris.
Yep.
Was really cool seeing it from that angle. But it just, when you guys all left Saturday night, I'm not joking. I went in, took a quick shower. I get dressed. I sat down on the bed to put my shoes on. I fell asleep. I literally fell asleep. That's why I didn't come down there till, what time was it, Dean?
Yeah, it was almost 9 o'clock, I think.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap, I can't believe it, But walking down there, I still see all of these kids out riding the bicycles, playing as hard as they were the night before. Am I lying when I say, Dean, that there was probably 30 to 40 campers still there Saturday night?
Oh, yeah, easy. Yeah.
And it's just so cool seeing all those families having so much fun. That's the racing is such a small part of it,
Yeah.
And just to see the families come together. And how many phones do you see out during the day? Hardly any, It just, God, I just absolutely, I know I say it all the time, and it comes off of a movie, but I always say that, I know you probably heard me say this before, Chris, on the radio and stuff, but, we must be doing something right, man, because I love what we're doing, Yeah. It's so cool. But every one of us could complain about the hard work, and then you turn around and you see little Juju, with this medal,
Oh, yeah, he loves them.
Somebody I seen on Facebook got their first plaque, and they took it to Kansas City with them the next day.
That was Gary Eads' little guy, I think.
Yeah. Yep, that's it. It's just so cool seeing that stuff. And don't get me wrong, I love to see a C-class rider have fun, or a double A, finish as high as he could, or whatever it might be. But I'm sorry. Yeah. I've always said that the kids just hit a little harder. It's like, it's awesome. So long story. I know I just made that really long, but it's really cool seeing everything this weekend. I told you how excited I was, Chris, coming up to the weekend. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't let down even a little bit. It was, I thought I'm going to start paying admissions, what I'm going to do. So I can say that I contributed because I got my money's worth this weekend seeing everything. I can tell you that. So,
yeah.
Anyway, I was literally just trying to get on here and tell you hours about up, but now you've went over, Chris. So
I know. We were shooting. I was short, man. We were going to be an early podcast.
Here goes the short jokes again.
I told Chris, I said, the last time you guys put me on to talk, I talked for 11 hours. So I said, are you sure you want me to talk on this thing tonight?
No, well, the 10-hour, how long do you have to talk on there?
That's what he's talking, 11 hours.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Yep.
No, I've never been on the podcast, but.
Plus, I got something more to talk to you about talking some more too. So we'll do that off air.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, it was a good podcast. I mean, lots of new faces. I was totally shocked, kind of surprised because normally the first race kind of sets the standard of how many entries we're going to have. But, man, we had more entries this race. So,
and going into the next two races with the numbers they've been and the spectators have been really nice too, Mm-hmm. But we go into the next two races that are what?
Bonus. We talked about bonus points.
Bonus points races, yeah. So we have two bonus points races. We could go all day, and I know you don't want to, Chris. I know you put an hour and a half limit on it, but it's we had two great races. Our next two races are bonus points races, but also truly to me, that would be more important is the fact that you're still working on your points on how you're going to line up at the Pinland. Yep. We're going by the points. So first 5 in points are the first row of your class, so there's a mid-season, that's not with throwouts before somebody asks. That's your total points as of that time. We'll get those finished up as soon as we can, and then you'll know exactly going in exactly where you're going to start, and which row and everything. So, but I don't know if you mentioned, Chris, I did have some people asking me this weekend about the registration for that race and why or when was the cutoff. And you remember we have two different cutoffs. We have the one July 1st where you get the free t-shirt with your paid entry fee by not January 1st, July 1st. Remember that?
Yep.
And then the second cutoff was what, the Thursday before? Or no, a week before.
It's a week before.
Was that when we say a week now, is that like the Saturday before then? Or I can't remember what it was. I know it was a week before. We need to get that hard date out there.
Okay.
I can't remember if it was, the Thursday previous before that, or if it has to be in basically by the weekend before. Maybe it was the weekend.
We'll announce that and put that out there just because it's important. Because it's all the lineups and everything's based off points. We need the time to figure out who's going to register to race that, and then get everybody properly seated correctly on each line.
Right. Yep.
I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm kind of anxious to see what that start looks like. Something different than what we've normally see. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to dust off the Blackwater DVD, and so Abby knows what she's getting herself into.
Yeah.
And I'm probably making it out to be bigger than truly what it is, but it's just going to be different. It's going to be so much fun. It's in the honor of, one of my heroes, that's been, I really can't think of anybody that's been bigger as far as our industry, as a whole, and not just GNCC, but, they've been to Heartlands, they've been to Ironmans, they've been to the, the Bajas, all of that stuff. It's just unbelievable. And I think the stories that we hear on that Friday night, which we'll be talking about that more coming up, I think I'm just excited because I want like Juju to be able to say, Dad, that's Mike Pinland. I want him to be able to identify him at the race. It's that educational thing that I'm more excited about, but
absolutely.
Yeah, there's just so much neat stuff. And, we get through this next race. In between this and the next race, we will be talking about it. We will actually have boots on the ground in Canesville to come back with,
more details.
More info and everything for everybody. I've talked to some of the city council meetings or members since then. Adam Ratliff and I was just on the phone today talking about some of it. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. I know there's people that's wanting to hear more, and I apologize for not having that out there. But yeah, we'll be getting stuff out there here. I'd say easily in the next month, a couple weeks to a month, a lot more than what's there now. So we have a lot of out of town people, like from many, many states away that are coming in. Actually, other countries. I know Canada definitely has one. So yeah, there's stuff, and I take for granted that everybody knows what our schedule is, but obviously everybody doesn't. So we got to get that out there a little bit better. So we'll definitely be on that.
So the race is August 1st, so it's going to be here very quickly. So we'll start getting that information out.
Isn't that scary?
Busy August.
Jeez, boys. 3 races. It's the Pinland.
I know.
Yeah,
but the good thing is the Mount Pleasant should not. I watch what I say here. I don't think the popsicles are going to be demanded this time like they normally are. There's a good chance that you might be able to breathe while racing at Mount Pleasant this year, being in June.
We're talking, Dean and I, about this is kind of a cooler Mount Pleasant than what some of us have seen the last couple of years.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. So.
Well, and it used to kind of take your breath away when somebody'd pass you in the creek in September.
Yeah.
It used to be a different problem.
Yep. But we still got the pond in case we need. Hopefully it's up this year. I think they've gotten quite a bit more rain than they did all of last year already this year. So hopefully that pond's up a little bit higher. And it's usually a pretty busy place, both on Friday and Saturday night with the kids. But right after the race, how many times have we seen guys kill the machine, walk over and jump in,
Yeah, especially mud races. You see people just get in with their gear on.
Yep. Huh. Cool. And I don't know if you mentioned it. I think I told you, Chris. Maybe it's too big of a heads up, but I believe we'll have a new starting area down there.
Yep, you said.
And then our parking will be a little bit bigger, I think. But we do not. I just talked to Danny. We do not have the field back this year. So if you're going to be at a race early, that's the one that I'd be at. It's always nice to get in there and get your spots, so before you're down the driveway,
Hey, driveway isn't bad either. It's a little bit walk to the start and registration and things, but man, you're right there. Just easy to get out.
Yep. Very easy. So yeah, so a lot of good stuff coming up. The next 2 races have been always good races for us, and then we go right into the new one. So what a way to start the year. It's been really nice. So,
yeah.
And we joked about this, maybe his last podcast, Chris, but I just had someone Saturday tell me the same thing. I was like, man, I love this. There's a lot of people, a lot of new people. I said I was truly scared. You and I talked about the gas prices and stuff and what it would do. The last time we had a kind of a gas price hike, it was the same way. I think people stopped going to races that are a long ways away, or maybe not to Disneyland this year, and replace Disneyland trip with 7 mini vacations in Iowa, And it's true though. I mean, you can come in and it don't cost anything extra for camping. You bring the whole family, you're into the campground or, into the pits cheaper than you can buy an ice cream cone at Walt Disney World, and
true.
You can be there for, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and at first it may seem like a hit in the pocket, but when you look at it, man, it's pretty cool. Walt Disney rides don't last as long as our 2-hour ride either. So there's a lot of good things. And I think Walt Disney was probably screwed up, man. I mean, he could have figured it out a lot faster than we could, but we've got it and he don't. Sorry.
So maybe what we need, Andy, is
I got him he kind of froze on me.
Say that again, Dean. Now? Yeah.
I said maybe what we need is you to dress up like we could get you as Mickey Mouse one round, and then we need to figure out other destinations that have an icon, and we'll just get you to dress up like that each round so they'll feel like they're on those vacations. What do you think of that?
So you're saying like Murray, he could dress up as an elf for Halloween?
Yeah. I like it.
I was all about it until Chris stepped in there. I thought he was going to bring up like Jiminy Cricket or, or Tinkerbell or somebody like that, but had to go with the elf, didn't we? You know what? I would do that.
There you go.
If we get the costume, I'm all for it.
All right.
I don't have
there you go, Chris. We need to work on costumes.
I'll add that to my list of things I do.
Yeah, when you're not doing anything, could you just flip that up, please?
Hey, I wonder if a movie night would be
okay. If I do it where it's all live on the podcast, Andy's got to wear it, right?
Yeah, he agreed.
All right.
What am I getting myself into? It has to be a PG-13.
Yep. I'm sure we've got some great followers that can give me some insight on a costume for you.
What about like a movie night? Having a movie some night. Remember we used to do that? Is that kind of gone, or do you think that'd work again?
I don't know. A Friday night movie night?
Yeah, or project a movie up on the barn or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Gotcha. So Chris, if you keep yakking, you're going to be over an hour and a half.
I know. It's past my bedtime.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, we got some things to work on, it looks like.
Did you ever get any questions this time? Any questions answered?
No, nobody's really, nobody's really asked anything. Jeremy Turner here said that he'll help pay for the costumes, make sure that you get one.
Oh, thanks, Jeremy. This is one of those things that I feel like I'm already regretting.
Yeah, you probably don't know what you signed up for.
Thanks, Dean. I'll remember you, buddy.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's all for the people. Don't forget.
There you go.
I mean, you should probably have to wear it like during like the kids awards or something.
Easy.
Like a specific time he has to wear it.
This was Friday night, not a Saturday.
I would say during the start, but I'd hate to have him in something he couldn't run in, because I think as we saw, he had to run on Saturday morning.
Dude, I'm going to start running. I'm going to get in shape because I didn't make it Saturday. Chris, you didn't see that. That
I'm
was
waiting.
probably the closest I've ever been to getting ran over. That B class was bigger than what I was prepared for.
25 in the B class. That was big.
Gosh, that was pretty cool.
A little too soon to talk about splitting, though. Let's throw that out there.
Yeah, I mean, if they maintain it, that's no problem at all. I think we do it. We've always wanted to keep it that way. It just shrunk down so bad, so but I think when you get as many more new riders as we have in that first year class, and they jump into that C or want to go to a B, that really changes things. So
yeah,
I think it'll be good. Yeah.
Okay.
So yep.
Yeah.
So,
We talked about points. We'll get points out shortly. So
sounds good.
Oh, now they're coming in. See you. It's all you, Andy. You brought them.
Oh man.
Oh, Tom. Well,
I think I would have been better just to stay off of here tonight, wouldn't it?
B class needs to get together and get you some running shoes. Sounds like.
Huh. I can only imagine how funny that looked, though. Too. I'm sure the look on my eyes were pretty good. So
you've got to look at Bogren's helmet cam video because it gets it perfect.
Did he get it?
Yeah.
Oh Lordy.
It's pretty funny.
Got to thank my buddy Nick for posting that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check it out.
I'm sure I would have done it too, though, so that's okay.
Well, then we talked about, did you see the picture Sabrina got of Brock pushing his old four-wheeler and then falling down?
Oh, she got pictures of that?
There's like 5 of them as it progresses, or 5 or 6. It's pretty good.
Oh, he's going to hate that. He told me, he's like, Dad, you wouldn't have believed it. I'm like, I've seen it, but I didn't realize it was you. He said he just took off just perfect. He goes, I couldn't even get my hands down to block it,
That's what it looked like. It looked like it started and he took off with him still grabbed onto the grab bar.
Yes.
Yep.
I have proof.
and how bad is that when you're trying to help somebody driving your machine?
That's what makes it even better.
Yeah. The stars align there.
Yeah.
That was a good weekend, though. We got stuff to laugh about, but yeah.
Yes, we do.
Oh, David Bear, I see his. Huh. I'm glad he had something there. Dang. Winnie the Pooh. I think this is just going to get ugly.
I think you're in trouble, Andy.
Can we go back and stop this at 1 hour mark?
Well, too late. It's in the universe. It's live.
Holy cow. Wow.
Okay. All right. I've got a few weeks to come up with something for Mount Pleasant. So
I think you should just take this podcast down.
I can't.
There's no proof.
We're one too many Prius jokes away from me taking it down. So
maybe I'll get a costume and drive a Prius there.
Maybe.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get my little sidekick to dress up too.
Are we talking Juju?
I'm sure he'd be right there with you.
I was thinking about you, Chris.
Yeah.
Nope. No throwing me under the bus. I'm too busy.
I don't think there's any proof.
Well, a proof that, according to Hunter, there's video proof already.
Oh, great. Thanks, Hunter.
So,
Man. All these buddies, they're looking out for me, aren't they?
yes, they are.
Sometimes my wife says I open my mouth, and I think she might be right this time. Dang. Oh, Lordy.
I can't believe you went for it.
Yes. So glad I came on tonight.
Yeah.
I should have just brought up on my phone. I didn't get to watch any of it. I should have just brought my phone and watched you guys do your stuff.
Yeah. It was good. A lot of information.
I'm on for a third of the show, and I get the brunt of it.
Well, you have been now.
It's supposed to be you, Chris. This is a Prius show.
A Prius show.
Not Andy in a costume show.
We'll see.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, hey, Dean, I don't know if you guys talked about this. This is the last thing I'll say the whole show, I promise you. Okay.
One more thing.
Dean,
one more thing, Dean.
One more quick thing. Very nice. Hey, Dean, tell us real quick. So you're kind of the newest member of the crew, right?
Yep.
So you've been on some work days. You've, been there for race days. You've been there for after and the camping out and after. You've seen, extended family now being there and stuff. Do you have any different take on the, I guess, going racing on a weekend compared to what you do now? Is there anything that surprised you, I guess, or?
No, it's kind of what I expected. I thought I'd miss racing myself more, but I don't. I do, but we have so much fun the days leading up to it that it all makes up for it. And, you talk about all the kids being around and, just seeing everybody. When you're working the track on Friday, it's kind of weird because you'll take off in the morning and you'll head out into the woods and you'll come back for lunch and there's, people starting to show up and there's more people around than there was when you left. And then you go out for that afternoon session to kind of button things up and you come back and it's like this, just so much activity and so many people around. It's just cool to see, everybody showing up, and when you're finishing up out in the woods, there's kids walking track and biking track and adults showing up out there and we're talking about things, obstacles on the course. And it's just a really unique vantage point for sure.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
It helps when you have a place like this, though, and you have Thorne and Dooley. They kind of add to the excitement, don't they?
Yeah, they bring another level, don't they?
And I got a picture of, I'd say 3 people in tightly together working on Dooley's 4-wheeler. I think we need to probably post that one of these days too, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay.
That should go out there to the people. Yeah, Dooley's a professional Can-Am belt changer.
Is that something like at the races, if somebody has an issue, we could hand them a card? Like Dooley can replace it?
I think we should, yeah.
Okay.
It might take him 2 hours, but he'll get it.
Yeah.
It might have taken him 5 if Ryan wouldn't have helped him.
No, I'll tell you what, that was a lot of fun having them guys around, and we try not to ask landowners to do, we want them to enjoy the time we're there, not have to work. And I'm not sure if the work they did would be contested as work the whole time, because I think they had enough fun in between each one of those things that we'll all be talking about it for a while,
Yeah, and we talked about earlier too. They even had to go put cattle back in at one point on Friday. So
yeah, so cool.
When we were rolling out on Sunday morning, they already had some cows back in the corral there as you cross the road over to the first 2 miles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Well, I'll tell you what, Dean, you and I are just going to have to hop off of here if we're going to shut Chris up so we can get off.
I hear you.
It happens every time like this, but you can't feel like you're being mean. You just feel like you got to take the first step. you know.
Just give him the goodbye and just walk out.
Exactly.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thanks, Dean, for filling in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, we got how many days, Andy? Did you 3 weeks, 4 weeks? What is it? June? A month. Right.
Yeah, about 3.5 weeks or 4. Yeah, basically right at a month.
So yeah, we got a month till the next race. So I know we got graduation party coming up. Another move. Yeah, we're gonna be busy for that next race. So
for sure.
So
yeah.
Right. Well, thanks everybody for sticking around. Maybe look for a Facebook post on. Maybe we'll get a vote going on Andy's first costume.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
PG related. I'll throw something out there with a couple suggestions.
No pictures.
No, there's going to be pictures.
Thanks, Hunter.
So yeah, thanks everybody for sticking around. We'll catch you next week as we start looking forward to Mount Pleasant. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.